afternoon, everybody. It's Lynn the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? We're a little up close and personal today because these glasses don't work if I move out any farther. Oh, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. So, thank you to those who participated in Shop at the Shed last night. I really appreciate it. Your items will be on their way to you tomorrow. I thought I was actually going to be going back to the house today, but that didn't happen. So had a show today, but we'll talk about all that stuff after today's fabulous item. So if you follow the Shop at the Shed, not Shop at the Shed, the Vintage Bag Experience, then you will know that I have a series of vintage Juicy Couture wallets and wristlets. This is the last one. I kind of saved the last for the best. It is very unique with these leather flowers. They are kind of prone to curling, but I used my straightener and it straightened those babies right out. So if you can hear that noise behind me, that is Toronto Motorsport Park drag strip. We will talk about that in a minute. So this is chocolate brown velour, black leather, your embroidery, your leather flowers. You have a little zip compartment on the back, and it's all juicy monogrammed inside. There's your juicy pull tab. I do believe that this is all brass and this is all leather, beautiful strap. Now inside there is a tiny little bit of peeling. Unfortunately, these vintage juicy pieces are prone to that. Just a little oversight on their part, I think, because the quality of the rest of it, there's your juicy tag, and it does have the little white slip inside. But other than that tiny little bit of peeling, which is, like I said, very, very typical for these vintage pieces, this baby is in amazing condition. Just vintage juicy, hot, 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 hot. And these have been in storage for, I'm going to say, between 7 to 10 years. And I didn't even know I had them. I told you I have a ton of crap. I told you. So there we go. That is today's item. And it is the last of my vintage. I have one other small item. I don't believe, it's certainly not the iconic velour and leather. It is leather. It's much smaller. It is a wristlet, and it is apple green. So it's got a few marks on it. I will do my best to try and clean it up, and maybe I will present that to you also. So yes, here in Cayuga, there is a drag strip. It feels like it's far away, but if you heard that car burning rubber before it was about to go down the drag strip, it is not that far away. I used to frequent Toronto Motorsport Park every weekend for years. I had a gentleman in my life who was a drag racer, and that's where we spent every weekend, and it's coming up for Father's Day this weekend, so that's what all this noise is about. They have a pretty big event for Father's Day, and the cars are all testing and tuning, getting ready for whatever competition is going to be hosted by the park this coming weekend. So it brings back a lot of memories, and it is just I love cars. I absolutely love cars. I'm still getting myself organized to get my little car looked at. I put the insurance back on it last week, but I forgot the keys this past weekend. So I will be trying to jumpstart it this weekend, and hopefully getting it back on the road so that I can at least take it to a couple of body shops to see if I can find somebody to do the work. So anyway, so I had a show earlier today in St. Catharines at a very, very lovely retirement home. Not such a good day. Actually, it's probably the worst show I've had since the beginning of April. So you just never can tell, right? But it wasn't a bad day in that my mom came for the show, my daughter showed up for the show, and my good friend Lynn came and picked up a bag. We had a nice chat, and then a couple of friends of my mom's, her new friends, because they just recently, a year or so ago, moved to St. Catharines. So my mom has made a lot of new friends. And one of these ladies actually does what I do in terms of being kind of a traveling retail store. She doesn't, I think she does a few bags, but not anything leather, and not the brand names, and not resale, gently used either. I don't know. I have a little bit of a, you either are open to that or you're not. So I do struggle a little bit with how I present that at these venues, just because when you say secondhand used, it kind of gives you a little bit of a preconceived notion. I find, in my experience, that's what I find. Until people see my bags, they don't really understand that my idea of used and, yard sale, Salvation Army idea of used are two different things. So I kind of let the bags speak for themselves. I absolutely do not present them as, brand new or anything like that. I will use the term they're refurbished, they're scratch and dent. But I try and steer clear of that kind of secondhand. Pre-loved I use sometimes as well. It just scares people away. And then the other thing is, I do have to explain why I can sell Kate Spade, Coach, Roots, Michael Kors for $50, $60, $70. I would rather sell a customer a slightly scratched up, damaged, and by no means am I talking ripped handles or ripped, like zippers, broken, anything. There's just maybe a scratch in the leather. There's maybe a little of the glazing is cracked or something like that. But I would rather sell you an authentic Coach or Dooney or whatever I have in my possession at the time with a little damage on it than sell you a fake that, still has the plastic on the handles and everything. Because ultimately, that little bit of peeling in that juicy wristlet is typically what ends up happening with all the knockoffs. There are super fakes and that kind of thing, which I think we've talked about a little bit in the past. But yeah, I don't like fakes. I don't deal with fakes. To the best of my knowledge, everything I present you is authentic. And if I'm not sure, like I've had Dolce & Gabbana in the past. What's the other one I've had? Longchamp I've had, and I'm not 100% sure that it is real. So I will just price it as a good quality leather bag. So somebody is either going to get a great deal, or, they haven't paid a ridiculous amount of money for something that, turns out not to be authentic. So that's kind of how I look at it. So it was interesting to talk to Karen today, that is her name, and just, kind of compare notes. But she does a lot of higher end clothing, but she is finding it very difficult. She's moved from Oakville to St. Catharines and is seeing a huge difference in the clientele, which just is a very what would be the word? A very realistic demographic change for her. So she's trying to navigate her way through whether she wants to continue or not. It is so windy today. The trees are creaking and croaking, and we're supposed to get some very severe thunderstorms tonight. So Wouldn't mind a big fat tree falling through the trailer, but I would rather not be in it while it happens. Just because, we would maybe not have to deal with all the damage that we purchased the trailer with. So anyway, that is it for me today. I think it is super warm. I have the air conditioner going in the trailer. I am setting up to make dinner. The struggle for me is real. It really is. I do not enjoy the domestic diva routine. I just do not. So, it is what it is, right? But I'm also trying to watch our pennies, and there's not a lot of eating out options here in Kyoto, which is probably a good thing. Definitely no bulk barns, which is absolutely a good thing. And we just need to be a little bit more mindful of what's going on. I was supposed to do art crawl tomorrow. I decided not to do it. The weather is looking like there could be the chance of rain. Any wind of this nature today, there's just no way. And I mean, it looks quite still behind me, but I don't know if you can hear it. The wind is blowing quite, blowing up quite a gale, as my mom would say. And also next week is supposed to start. I mean, we're Humidex 33 today. I mean, I'm sitting in the shade under the gazebo, and it is actually quite pleasant. But next week, I don't want to be doing all the packing, the final leg of our move out of our house in the crazy, crazy heat. I don't do well with heat. I hate it. I will sit in it. I will sun myself in it for a short period of time. If we're on vacation, then we're in and out of the water, which makes it manageable. But other than that, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that being said, I will let you go for today. And tomorrow shop at the shed. So I will be home, and I will be able to pull out another 5 great items. I'm just using what I have already out and about because everything else is packed. But I am setting up our new storage facility to bear that in mind, so that if I do need to get more stock, it's readily available to me. So anyway, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe if you're in our kind of storm alley or whatever you want to call it. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.